Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as was the vast majority of crypto and finance. And I want to talk to you guys a little bit about something different today. So going all the way back to July 13th, when we seen the big win in terms of Ripple and XRP's favor, I remember the sentiment in the market. The sentiment in the market was as if we were going to new all-time highs on XRP immediately. And I even said then that we need to make sure that we are aware of the risk here and not to impulsively buy and wait for the major pullback. Well, we got the major pullback. We could go a little bit lower, but I do think that this is a great opportunity that we do have in the market overall. But one thing that I do want to take from this is the win over the SEC. At this time, we thought, well, the SEC is done. Right? We don't have to worry about them. Wrong. Today, we've seen a few announcements. So the first one was this one. Just in, Gary Gensler says the SEC is using AI to surveil financial markets for misconduct. I wonder if the AI will find fault with what Gary Gensler has been doing. Maybe they'll find the insider trading from Gary Gensler, because we do know that this is an individual that does have a net worth of well between 41 million and 119 million. That's right. So this is from Binance Feed, and we do see how rich is SEC chief Gary Gensler know his net worth in 2023. And that is a substantial net worth. I'm sure that he got that and got there just by being a former investment banker and renowned lecturer at the prestigious business school. Gensler has amassed considerable wealth. Investment income is reported to be the primary contributor to his net worth. Investment income. I'm sure that he's, definitely not on par with some of the other individuals out there that have amassed a massive gain. The top 100 members of Congress actually are getting richer 3,090% faster than the average US citizen. Wow. Do they have a private group that I could join? Because apparently they are absolutely killing it. Something is clearly broken when the average US citizen sees their net worth only increase by 3.7% a year, while the top 100 members of Congress see an insane 114.4%. While, again, the average American is struggling, are the people who are supposed to be serving us getting filthy rich? Corrupted career politicians from both sides of the aisle, like Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi, continue to run for re-election and get richer. They should be in a retirement home, not the most powerful positions in the world. The only way we could stop them is to demand term limits and to ban congressional stock trading. How much longer will we allow this to go on? And listen, I think that Gary Gensler is right in that bunch of crowd that are doing insider trading and possibly getting insider information, because there's absolutely no way these people are getting this rich. No way. I mean, we're talking about 41 to 119 million dollars. No wonder why this individual does not care about you or me, even though he touts the idea that, we're here to protect the retail sector. No, they're not. And within this, though, we do see a few things. So, one, speaking today, Chairman Gary Gensler said that the US SEC is using AI to surveil financial markets for various forms of misconduct. Specifically, Gensler noted that the technology is currently used in some market surveillance and enforcement action. Additionally, he noted the prevalence of AI as a key reason behind the SEC's request for more funding from Congress. I'm sure that's the reason why. The agency has opted to utilize the technology in order to assess market patterns that could be connected to misconduct. Very interesting. And we also do see down here, so the arrival of OpenAI's ChatGPT catapulted generative AI and tech like it into the mainstream. Now, the SEC has been discussing their use of the technology and how it's been implemented. Speaking at the hearing taking place today, Chairman Gary Gensler said that the SEC is currently utilizing it to monitor financial market for misconduct. Specifically, it reveals that the technology has been a key surveillance tool in the agency's observation of patterns and subsequent enforcement action. So this is definitely interesting, and I do consider the SEC as an agency looking out for the retail sector, right? No, I don't. I consider the SEC an agency that is here to crumble the entire retail sector. They don't want you getting ahead. In fact, they are actually here to benefit the institutions. Over here, we also do see Justin, SEC Chair Gary Gensler, says crypto is full of fraud, abuse, and misconduct. Check this out.
And help protect Americans from the crypto abuses that cost consumers billions.
If they were to live up to the investor protection built into their current laws, it would help investors. But right now, unfortunately, there's significant non-compliance, and it's a field which is rife with fraud, abuse, and misconduct.
And of course, do you see this individual back there behind him? Oh, well, guess what? That is Promethium's lobbyist, William Owen, sitting right behind Gensler in today's Senate banking hearing, agreeing with everything that he is saying. What a great puppeteer, right? As we actually look at this, first and foremost, there was a full report on this back in June. Promethium, what you need to know about the SEC's poster child for crypto compliance. Now, listen, I fully broke Promethium down in the past. This is an example that they utilize that says, hey, look, you could come in and register. All you need to do is make sure that you come into compliance. But we know from dozens of names now that that is just not the case. So what's the difference here? Well, it's very simple, right? We know that this was a planted company that the SEC was able to utilize to make an example of saying, hey, we're not here to stomp out everyone. We're here to allow certain companies that actually come into compliance through. Even though Promethium is like one of like the only companies that actually got through the SEC's, I would say, obstacle, right? And over here, July 12th, Blockchain Association calls for an investigation into Promethium over alleged sweetheart SEC deal. Again, because we don't know what actually happened here. I mean, we've looked into a whole bunch of stuff around this. We've even looked into Aaron Kaplan as well, which, by the way, some of the stuff that we found was definitely interesting. At the exact same time, though, we were finding out a ton of information around Promethium, and we've come to the conclusion that this was definitely a planted seed in the space by the SEC. And just like everything else that the SEC has done, this is basically corruption and manipulation. At the same exact time, though, right, that we are seeing Gary Gensler saying that crypto is full of fraud, abuse, and misconduct, he'll never mention anything about all of the politicians that are getting extremely wealthy off of insider trading. And also, remember this video? This is from Digital Asset Investor. He posted, this is an older video that we actually included many times in the past on this channel. When you see, watch this, then imagine what these same Wall Street guys could do if they had a major US regulator in their pocket crushing prices with crypto crackdowns for 2 years right before allowing them to open Bitcoin ETFs. FYI, by coincidence, Gary worked at Goldman Sachs and had George Soros and Jamie Dimon meetings on his public SEC calendar. Check this out.
On September 12th, Jamie Dimon says Bitcoin is a fraud. He says he'll fire any one of his traders buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin drops 24%. When Jamie Dimon speaks, people listen. People listen. So that weekend, we found out that the largest buyer of a Bitcoin fund that's in Europe that buys physical Bitcoin, right? The largest buyer was Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan. And that's not illegal.
He says it's a fraud.
It says he'll fire anyone that buys it. Yes.
And at the same time, his company is buying it.
His company is buying it.
It's just, so unethical.
Right.
Okay, George Soros.
George Soros, in January 24th, price was already down, calls Bitcoin a bubble, says Bitcoin is the worst, the worst investment in the world. Don't buy Bitcoin. Don't buy Bitcoin. Basically throws gasoline on the fire at this point. And then what do we find out? So he says bubble here.
It drops 44%.
Right. And then here in April, 2 months later, guess what we find out?
Yeah.
His $26 billion family office has approval to buy cryptocurrency.
Right. And we only knew about it publicly here. And this is the kind of thing that George Soros is famous for this, talking the sterling down.
Yeah.
And what did he do? He stole the pensions of all the little people.
Yeah, made $1 billion.
Yeah. Okay.
So then here now, Goldman Sachs, this again, February 7th, most cryptocurrencies will crash to zero. Now, I remember when they said this in February, and I had, through my network, I knew that Goldman Sachs was setting up a crypto trading desk. Absolutely knew they were setting up a crypto trading desk. And
I remember you telling me that.
Right. And then, of course, they were denying it. No, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not. Price falls down 27%. And then what do we find out? We find out here, they say BTC 0. And then we find out just before May, new trading desk. Not only that, they put $400 million to buy a cryptocurrency trading platform.
And this is exactly what I mean by manipulation and corruption. The retail sector completely gets screwed constantly by the regulators, by the congressmen and the congresswomen, everyone that is a part of the game. You and me are just pawns in this game. These are the people that run the show. And again, over here, we do see first question for Gary. Senator Hagerty, why aren't you filing suit against JP Morgan for development of a token? Is it not a security because they are the incumbent? Is that the new Howie prong? And here we have JP Morgan Chase, JPM, is developing a blockchain-based digital deposit token to speed up cross-border payments. Thoughts? Again, like, as we really kind of look at what's happening here, I would argue that Gary Gensler made most of his money by being a paid servant to these bankers. And if he's not, well, guess what? Now he's probably getting filthy rich because there's absolutely no way that half of this stuff is going on blindly. I mean, if you really wanted to protect the retail sector, you would offer them some guidance and maybe some insight on how these congressmen and even congresswomen as well are getting absolutely filthy rich 3,000% faster than the average US citizen. Do you honestly think that this is happening because they don't have insider information? Like, where's the regulators to stop this? We have regulators in this space trying to stomp out the middleman and the small guys. What's going on with this? Like, this is the biggest problem. And we even seen back in May when the big banks were starting to collapse a little bit. JP Morgan's Jamie Dimon calls for SEC probe into bets against bank stocks. The US regulator urged to go after any wrongdoing by short sellers. They literally wanted to ban short selling of banking stocks. Like, are you kidding me? And of course, as we look at this, this proves to me that one, these big incumbent banks that have these, star child individuals like Jamie Dimon, for an example, I'm pretty sure that they have deep connections with the regulators. Whatever they say goes. The regulators will never be caught going after JP Morgan. And when they do, all of a sudden, millions and millions of emails just get deleted. Right? Because we've seen that as well. How comical. Something needs to give here because we have an agency that is not looking out for anyone in the space besides themselves and the incumbents, right? I mean, how else are you going to amass such a mass fortune? $41 million to $119 million? Let me ask you all out there, what would you do if you had $41 million or even $119 million in the bank? Would you care about the retail sector? I guarantee you right now you wouldn't. And we even see here, what's his primary source of income? It is estimated that he earns approximately $32,000 per month, contributing to his thriving net worth. Wow. How comical, right? And of course, he is appointed by the president, Joe Biden. So how will we ever get rid of this guy? Well, we probably won't, not until a new president is elected. Because again, these people are, it's just like the congressmen, the congresswomen, right? Like they're all chosen. They're all chosen. They're all planted into office. And they're there forever. So yeah, I mean, I do agree with WSB chairman. When we actually look at this, right? We need to have a ban on, one, term limits, and also stock trading of congressional stock trading. Because this is a big problem. And you'll never see the SEC go after this. You'll only see the SEC go after the retail sector. They know that the retail sector is getting extremely wealthy off of crypto. Maybe not right now, but during the bull run, we know that individuals that are jumping in, and even ones that have been in for a while, are getting extremely wealthy. That can't be happening. This is comical to me. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, though. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And with that being said, if you guys did enjoy the video, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because I'm a free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and just in the free Discord on the description below. And with that being said, guys, this has been Nick. Peace out.